Alrighty, gentlemen, we're gonna do it. New podcast time. You guys don't seem that excited. All right, folks.
I'm ready.
Well, welcome to Practical Shooting After Dark. This is your adults-only practical shooting podcast. It's a new thing that we're doing here. So joining me today, Mr. Matt Hopkins, a familiar
Hi,
face.
everybody.
Yes, and Mr. Burdot
What's up, guys?
from the French part of Canada. All right,
Oui,
folks.
oui, oui.
Yes. So I should explain what it is that we're doing and why.
Yeah, why after dark?
After dark? Well, adapt. So a couple of weeks ago, I've been planning a reformat of the podcast for a while, but I kind of got thinking about how to name it when I saw your friends. I think they're your friends, right? The Shoot Fast podcast boys
Yeah.
down in Omaha. I think by the time people hear this, if they listen to that, they will have heard me on there. I think, maybe not. I don't really know. Anyway, so I appeared on their podcast or recorded it, and they're like, "Hey Ben, could you do us a favor and not swear at all?" And I thought, "What the fuck? Like, why would you ask me such a thing, sir? All of the podcasts I listen to have lots of the swears in them. You use those naughty no words that people." that people don't like, and they're like, no, actually, we got a few emails and people thanking us for not using that sort of language on our podcast. And I was like, that's interesting. And they're like, yeah, you're actually the only shooting podcast that has that on there. I was like, well, I find that hard to believe. The only sport, practical shooting USPSA type of person podcast. So yes, that's why it is Practical Shooting After Dark. The other option was Practical Shooting Adult Swim, but I don't know. After Dark
It might
makes
be a
more
legal
sense.
issue.
I don't think so. Adult Swim just means kids out of the pool. That's like a pretty normal term, you know? All right, so the new format, the reason is, like, obviously the question thing is played out. We've been asked every question 10 fucking times. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We're still going to take some questions. So if you sent in a question, over the years, a lot of people have sent in questions and they thought that I ignored it. Sometimes they fall through the cracks. Like, I'll copy it into my podcast questions folder, and then we'll use it, or I'll think we'll use it. A lot of times I get fucked up when I'm like cutting and pasting back and forth, and it gets lost in the shuffle. Like, that does happen. So if your question wasn't addressed, just send it in again. Usual method: go to benstigger.com, send me your question. If you have a new question, send that to me. Like, I'm not trying to ignore questions. So if I made a mistake, send me the question again, because I do mean to address it and get it in the queue, especially if it's an interesting and different question. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to change. So every week, you guys come to me, and I will come as well, with a topic to talk about. Spend, 5 minutes talking about your topic, whatever that is. So you got a few categories to pick from. This week in shooting, for example, would be a topic you could have. So I shot this match that had this interesting stage. This would probably apply more to me. Like, this thing happened in a class that I thought was interesting or instructive or helpful. So talk about something you did in shooting. You had a revelation while you're doing practice. God came down from heaven and gave you the secret sauce for your shooting. That would be obviously that would be of interest to the listeners. So definitely bring that as a topic if that happens. You could do show and tell, which for the listeners of the audio rip, show and tell sounds absolutely stupid. Obviously you can't see what it is. Yeah, so if you get a piece of gear or something that you want to talk about, if guys are seeing the video rip, obviously they can see the thing. They can see the thing that you're talking about, but we can describe what it is you've got. Why you've got it, if it's a new piece of gear or interesting piece of hardware, or something that you'd like to shamelessly shill. That would probably also apply more to me. So that would be something that would be show and tell. Trigger warning is another potential topic. That would be something that pisses you off. Example, Matt, water on all the stages. Example, Matt, exit out the back. Example, Ben, popper calibration. Example, Alex, I'm not really sure. What really triggers you, Alex? Being answered in English when you're in France and speaking French.
Yes.
Yes, that would piss you the fuck off.
True story.
Yes. All right, that'd be probably the maddest that I could make you. Okay, so that's going to be the format from now on. So once again, the same old crew, the merry band of practical shooting idiots comes on. They get a topic. They present the topic. The other idiots interrogate, the original idiot with the topic about the topic. Have some interesting banter, and then we're going to do the questions. But the questions are going to be short format. I don't necessarily need to hear every guy's opinion on every question. If Wansik's on the show, obviously Wansik will just field the question, and nobody else will have to say shit because he's just going to handle it. Or I'll handle it, or maybe Hopkins will handle it. It's hard to say. So that's what we're going to do. That's the new deal, folks. All right? This is going to be the thing for a couple of years until I get bored with this bullshit. Also, if there's any applicable news in the sport of practical shooting, like when, if there's another presidential election. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so if there's something that deserves a little bit of discussion, news related, obviously since we pre-record these things, it's not going to be like, on like current, a super current thing, but we'll discuss relevant topics that we feel need to get discussed in the news format. Yes, the elephant in the room, so to speak, is the little dust up, the little kerfuffle that happened between Ben Barry and Admiral General Foley on the and then between me and Admiral General Foley, and I kind of I posted some links which other people found of interest to that, and they read the happenings, and I was banned. Maybe I'm not really sure how that works, or I was suspended, I guess is the term. Maybe I'm not. I read the bylaws. I don't know if telling me I'm ineligible for competition counts as being suspended or not. I don't. It's fucking complicated. The point is, there's lots of drama. It was complicated. If you're interested, you can go to my Facebook page. It's you could search my name, Ben Steiger. You see my business page, or at Practical Pistol is also me. You can read the saga if you want to. It's love me or hate me. I'm predictable. I'm gonna do me. So, I'm sorry. I haven't been involved in like some major bullshit for a few years, so it's kind of overdue. So anyway, that's all I've got to say. I mean, there's nothing, Hopkins. There's nothing developing on that now, right? I mean, if this is, we're recording
As far
this.
as I know, no.
We're recording this on June 7th. This thing has been settled. It's been addressed. Like, it is what it is. There it is. Like I said, you can read it, think what you will. I don't really give a shit at this point. I have no regrets. You live once. Okay. So, who wants to go first with their topic? What did you bring me? What do you want to talk about? Who wants to go?
I got it this week in shooting.
This week in shooting, Matt Hopkins for 5
Yes.
after dark points. I don't think, no, we're not doing a point system. So just
Yeah, I was about
Matt,
to say, are we?
we should score it. Be like, how interesting was it, Matt?
Oh no! So I shot 2 back-to-back matches. So
Wait,
I
two
shot
matches you did 2 matches in one weekend, didn't you?
2 matches in one weekend. Yeah. So I took off and drove Thursday, shot Friday, drove to the second match Friday night, shot Saturday, and then drove home Sunday. So long week. I shot Cowtown in Oklahoma State or Oklahoma Sectional. 2 pretty drastically different matches. I mean, Cowtown was all 32 round field courses. No speed shoots, nothing under 30 rounds. Target difficulty, not very high. They had some swingers, they had some activating targets. They had some steel out there a little bit, some hidden steel, which was interesting. So, like, they had stacked poppers in a row where you couldn't see the back poppers, and the front popper was forward falling. So it gave some options on what you could do on the popper. So shoot it, go do something else, or just sit there and wait. What I tried to do was, would have worked out if it would have worked out. Would have saved me about a
So
second.
you didn't work out?
Didn't quite work out, no. It would have saved
That's my
1.8
favorite.
seconds.
That's my favorite. Is when I see something at a match, I'm like, yeah, this could work. But like, if this goes sideways, it's going real sideways.
It actually didn't go sideways at all. Like, it was just the same time as everybody else.
No, that's not that
Yeah.
bad.
So I like edged a wall I was trying to shoot to the right of and hit a popper in the front so it would open up the back ones earlier. And I edged the wall and didn't actually hit the popper. So
Okay,
So
I
I had to
understand what
like
you're trying
move
to
into
do.
the position, shoot the popper, and like sit there and wait for like 1.8 seconds to shoot the second one.
Alex, how do you think Matt did at these matches? If you had to guess,
Pretty good. No,
Matt,
you
tell him
didn't
how
do
you did.
good.
I took first in production at both matches.
Boom.
There
Sucking
you go.
hater, Alex.
This is the first time I've like done back to back like that. Like drive after shooting a whole match to
Yeah.
shoot another match the next day.
How many stages each
Each
match
match
is?
had 10 stages.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, the first match was all the field courses, the 30 round field courses.
I think I
Nice.
did this. I think I did something like this once, like 10 years ago, and it was real bad.
So it wasn't super
Like, it
bad
was
because
ugly.
we were on the RO squads, so we only had like 8 or 9 people, and we could kind of really move pretty good throughout. And we had the RM on our squad, so he was gone half the time, or whenever they had to call something, he had to go take care of that too. So we had even less people usually on the squad,
Yeah.
which meant less pasting and stuff for the other shooters to shoot, but we had less help also.
Yes.
Oklahoma, so the stage difficulty, Cowtown was less difficult. Oklahoma had more difficult shots and more variety of stages.
So you
So
like the
Oklahoma had
Oklahoma
like,
match better?
I thought the Oklahoma match was more variety and a better like mix of stages and stuff. But Cowtown was fun, like just shredding on stuff.
You know it, man. Boy, Alex, you don't really talk a whole lot.
Yeah,
Alex,
sorry.
what do you
Well,
want to talk about? Like
well,
I feel like we've sufficiently covered. So Matt did a thing. He shot two matches in one weekend. Which why did you decide to do that?
They were close enough where it was possible.
Yeah. So why did you decide to do that?
It was like, why not?
you had
Is
free time?
it's like exhausting. It's a lot of hassle. It takes you away from home for longer than you otherwise would. I don't know. Like just pick one of
Yeah,
those.
but I've won Cowtown, or I've shot, and I think I've won it once, but I've shot it like 3 or 4 times.
So you wanted to go get that
So I
one.
wanted to go shoot Cowtown, and then Oklahoma City was like the same weekend, so why not?
Cowtown
Actually,
was Dallas area. Well, Crescent, right
Yeah,
by Dallas, which is
yeah,
that's 8 hours away from you. And
9,
Oklahoma 9. Oklahoma City's 4 hours.
5 hours.
No, 4 hours away from Dallas. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So you hit which one was first?
Cowtown.
So you drove. Okay, so you drove 9 hours one day, then shot a
Yep.
match. Then it was 4 hours at night, and then another match the next day.
Yeah.
This sounds
I was gonna
interesting to you
say,
now, doesn't it, Alex?
well, I was gonna say shoot two matches in the same weekend. That's fun. Like we all wish we could do that, but like driving so much in
Americans
the
like to
same day.
drive, Alex. That's what we
Four
like to
Yeah,
hours
do.
after 9 was nothing though. Like
yeah.
4 hours at this point is not really a big thing.
No, I just like for now 4 hours. I just like kind of close my eyes for a second, open them up. I'm there. Like we made it.
You've watched like 2 movies on Netflix, right?
No, watching movies while I'm driving is dangerous. I listen to podcasts, Matt.
Okay.
All right, Alex.
Well, for me this week, it will be an Intel. So
An
I
Intel?
bought, yeah.
You mean
So
show and tell?
show Intel. Yeah, thank you.
This is not a
Because
French
I'm
Canadian
French.
term, I take it.
Yes. So, you know, I had a struggle with mags. They kept breaking. So
So where were
and
they
lately
breaking? On the lips? That
on the
for the
lips.
base pad?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. The base pad lifts. They just split and yep. I just have a tube then and they're useless. So I got a bunch of springs and I see people. They buy new springs followers to maintain their mags, and I'm just like, well, I just buy new mags because they keep on breaking.
Yeah, I think
And
that's different if you shoot expensive magazines.
oh, okay. Well, they're Temfolio magazines. Are they expensive?
They're not expensive here. I don't know how bad your importer checks with
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Well, they're about, yeah, I would say $35 US.
That's not bad.
35 US dollars for a
Yeah.
Tanfo mag?
Yep.
That is kind of a lot. Yeah.
No, that's in line, honestly.
It's not crazy. I think the Tanfo mags down here are cheaper.
The
I
chrome
think. I don't
ones
remember.
are a bit more expensive, more like 45.
Yeah, that's exactly in line with the U.S. sales.
Yeah.
I think the nickel CZ mags are like 49 also or 50.
Jeez. Well, and
Okay,
you
you
know,
were getting made fun of previously
yeah,
on this
because
very
I had like
show.
five mags, and I lost one recently, so I was about 4 or 5 mags. That's it for practice, for matches, and for draw fire, everything. And I just got bored of keep emptying my mags from dummies because I had to go to a match or practice. So I actually bought new mags. So I bought 6 of them this week, and man, feels great to get to practice. I just load up a bunch of mags, and I get to practice for a while before I need to reload. So I would say this is my pretty happy moment this week.
I'm happy for you. Like you
Are
had
mags hard to come by?
No, no, there are plenty. It's
Okay.
just you need to get the base pad as well. So I'm shooting the Henning base pads
those are
with
nice.
the
Yeah.
and yeah, they work. I like the angle, so they work pretty good.
Interesting, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you had a crazy low number of magazines. I remember
Yeah,
last
yeah.
year.
You
You
said I
had
had like
in
four
total
functions.
for matches, you had what, 6 magazines?
5.
5 magazines last year you had for matches, for practice, for everything, right?
Yeah. I keep
That's
my
crazy.
yeah 5 or 6. Yeah. It's just
Like no, for a
ridiculous.
guy shooting at your level, like that is craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think? How many magazines should you have? Do you reckon?
I should have like between 10 to 15,
You need 12
12.
minimum.
Jesus.
Minimum.
12?
Yeah.
Well,
Two
I
sets of 6.
I think
How
let me
many you
be
have? How
honest. I
many?
think I have an active use maybe 30 magazines
30.
that I actively use, yeah.
I have
Well, I
18,
have
but
a backup. I have another set of 10 round, like limited to 10 round magazines. We're not going to talk about that. As far as like normal
yep.
standard capacity 17 round Tanpo magazines, I have 30 that I use. So I have a set for matches of I think 10 or 12, and then a bunch just for live fire practice, then a bunch that are loaded with dummy rounds perpetually, and then a set that I travel with that I use for classes. Because I like
So
to have match stuff that's pretty cherry.
yeah.
so
You think you need that though?
you'll use how many mags filled up with dummy rounds for draw fire? Like
5. Yeah, I have 5 filled up. I think I have another one that's an empty that stays with my dry fire stuff for making sure I drop empty mags okay.
yeah. Oh, okay.
I'll level with you. I don't pay a lot for magazines, so I like to have a lot.
Well, that's yeah, that's useful.
Yes, very helpful. All right, gentlemen. Good. I have a thing for show and
What do you
tell.
have?
I have a new gun. If you are looking at the YouTube video of this, I'm holding up a gun, which you can see. If you're not, I shall describe the gun for you. This is a 40 caliber Tanfolio limited gun. Which one is this
First,
called, Matt? This is the limited elite, is it?
I
I forget the name.
honestly don't know.
it's their new design for the limited. It's not the limited custom. Oh well,
Which
yeah, they have different names, right? In the
yeah,
US.
Yeah.
they do. I don't give a shit really. It's a 40 caliber. It's basically like as I hold the frame, this thing's the same as a stock 2. Feels the same. It's just a 5-inch gun as opposed to a 4.5. So it's like 5-inch 40 caliber gun. This is the blue one, which I don't. I'm really mixed on the color of this thing. It's it's quite striking. I feel like people are very polarized on it. Some people think it looks terrible, and other people think it looks great. To me, it really depends on the lighting. Like it can look really sort of chintzy in the wrong lighting. In the right lighting, it looks really nice. I don't really care about that because I'm going to wear the color off of it, shooting it probably. So this one went to Henning, your friend and mine probably, Alex, huh?
I've met the guy once. He probably doesn't know who I am.
Okay. Well, I think he's a swell guy. I don't know anything about how these guns are out of the box, but the one that I got from him with I said, dude, set it up the way you would set it up to shoot it, you know? So he put in a trigger and a hammer, and he's like, I'm putting on my magwell instead of the Tanfoglio one. I think you'll like mine better. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then his base
Yeah.
pad for the magazine. So the magazine holds 20 rounds of 40 caliber, which is not exactly the best, but not bad. It's okay.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. Honestly, will you actually need the extra round? Maybe once.
I don't know, dude. Probably I will never need it. It's hard
Probably
to say.
not.
Um, I think the trigger on this gun, again, I don't know how they are factory because I never fucked around with them.
Oh, I can tell you, they're not so great.
They're
Okay.
not as good as yours.
No, no.
Probably not. This thing is like less than 2 pounds, and you kind of breathe on it, it goes off. I'm not going to lie to you. It's I don't want to say scary, but it's exciting, like how light it is. Because it's like if I draw it now, the safety comes off. Like I'm real careful before I even put my finger on the trigger. Like it's light. It's very shootable.
Yeah.
So yes, it's an interesting gun. I haven't shot it that much. I'll say like I like it. I like to shoot it. It feels soft. It's accurate. It shoots nice compared to other limited guns I've shot. It feels like it would be competitive with other guns, just on a gun-to-gun level, like if the operator does their job. And I'm a little, I don't know if I'm surprised by that, but I'm like, it's good to see that. Like, it's nice that these things can be set up can be okay. And the thing that I really like is since it's very similar to stock 2, it's not a difficult transition for me at all. Like it's like I just put this gun in a holster, dry fired it a little bit, and it's like then I'm like shooting a different division. It just has a little more recoil, but a lot more bullets. That's pretty much the way it works.
So you can use that all your same gear, right?
I can. So I haven't fucked around with this gun too much. I haven't shot it a lot, but I was thinking I'll just throw it on a production rig, and like the holster's fine, but then the magazines are a bit longer and a bit heavier. So then I wanted the magazines to sit lower, so I flipped around I ended up like flipping around my belt and changing around some stuff. So I could, in theory, use the same gear, but it's more comfortable to sort of set a dedicated belt for it, which for me is not a problem. But if you were, let's say price sensitive about these sorts of things, to make it convenient to change around, you'd be into it to a different, to another belt in addition to the gun.
Yeah, well, that's generally what people do. I mean,
Yeah, of course. That's generally what people do. I was swinging for the fences thinking I'd just use the same belt, and it didn't feel comfortable for the magazine changes. So, well, I suppose you guys have questions about why I would even possess such a thing.
how are you going to shoot standard now? Well, limited.
Okay, so the deal is I have access now to a lot of guns, like Tanfoglios, like they're throwing them at me. And it's getting a little ridiculous, the number of stock 2s that I have. You know what I mean? Like I have a bunch of them for work, and there's some that are just like beater practice guns. I've got loaner guns if people come and train at my range. I've got, match guns for IPSC, match guns for USPSA. I got guns coming out my ass for stock 2s. You know what I mean? I got a lot of them. And as long as they're throwing guns at me, well, I might as well get something a little different. I have a really good support structure. I got the pro shop to help me. I've got 3 different gunsmiths that work on these guns, Henning being the guy that did this one. So I have a really good support structure. So it's really no skin off my back to get different guns. So this year I was like, hey, yeah, send me a couple of these. So I got another one coming, but it'll be identical to this. But I was like, yeah, send me a couple of them limited guns. I want to play with that. And I bought a bunch of factory ammunition. Well, not a bunch, a little bit, like enough that I could shoot a couple matches and train a little bit with it. if I want to. So we'll see how it goes. And if I really like it, if I'm really having a good time, I'll shoot some more matches with it. I'm not looking to change from production, just to like try something a little different and have some fun, you know. So yeah, it's been a positive experience so far. I'm surprised, sort of how, in a way, it's very similar shooting this gun, but it's different enough that it's interesting, especially to train with. The gun shot really well. I haven't had any problems, so yeah, that's cool. It's a good experience.
Are you gonna shoot something like production optic for nationals? Just
We will have more show and tells on future shows, Alex, where you'll
oh,
see
okay.
other
Well,
guns. If people are paying attention on Instagram, they see that I've got a lot of different guns. And as far as I'll love with you right now, as far as like what matches I'm going to shoot with what gun, I am definitely shooting production nationals in USPSA.
yeah, you're not
Definitely.
gonna you're
Oh no,
not gonna go play around after
but
that.
what I'm saying is I am 100% shooting production
Oh,
nationals.
okay. All right.
You get what I'm saying? Like it depends
Yep.
on how it goes. Like if I haven't really played around with these guns, so like if I'm shooting this limited gun really well, or maybe I'm just shooting it okay and I like it, and I'm having fun, and I would shoot limited nationals also for a bit of fun. I might do that. If I am shooting a gun in a different division,
Mm-hmm.
I'm winking. If I'm shooting a gun in a different division, I like that one. Then I'll shoot. I could shoot a different nationals as well as production. I'm definitely shooting production. I love production. That's what I want to shoot. But like, I'll just see how it goes with these other guns, and I'll decide if there's any other matches I'd like to shoot with them, or maybe I'm going to shoot just a section match with one or something. I don't know. Let's see. Like I don't even have them in my hands yet. You know what I mean?
Did you get
Mm-hmm.
bored, or
No, they're
why
just
the addition?
why, Matt. They're throwing guns at me. It's like part of. I mean, some of the guns I have coming are polymer match guns, where like Tanfoglio is looking to promote those, and it's like, well, I already have production guns that I like that are metal. That's a natural carry optics or production optics gun, depending on if it's IPSC or USPSA. So I'm not bored with production. I like it, but it's like I have access to so much other stuff now, and it's like I'm in a position where buying some 40 caliber ammunition is not really an inconvenience. You know what I mean? Like getting some optics to put on a gun is not an inconvenience for me at all. I can just do that and give it a go and see what happens. You know what I mean? Even just for
Yeah.
practice and training, it's going to be good for me. I'll develop, I think, as a shooter. I'll be a better instructor because I'll have more practical, real world experience shooting different divisions if that's what I choose to do. So it's going to be good for me all the way around. But don't think that I'm abandoning production. That's not going to happen anytime soon.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. There's just so much heat there now, especially internationally. Like that's like kind of the place to be, in my opinion.
Yep.
Okay, shall we move on, guys? Go bang out a couple
Yeah.
questions.
Sure.
Okay. I'm a casual range shooter that wants to get in competition. I'm cross-eyed dominant, and I feel that I struggle with iron sights compared to when I shoot optics because of this. Do you recommend for me to join carry optics because of this, or am I using this as a crutch and need to push myself harder with irons only? To give more color, currently if I don't have an optic, I force myself to use my sub eye, either by milking my left lens or closing my eye. I'm not sure if this is the wrong approach. Bonus question, what carry optics gun would you run? Polymer frame seems to run supreme because of the lower weight limit. Thanks for your time, and I love the podcast. Well, I'll take this first. If you like shooting an optics gun, shoot an optics gun. You don't have to like shoot irons just to not be a pussy.
No,
I think that's fair to say.
especially now, like carry optics and just even in the IPSC production optic, I see some guys shooting it and they're really pretty competitive, and man, it looks fun, to be honest. And
I'll be honest with you, Alex. It's not a lot different than production. It's just
no,
it is literally production with an optic instead. Well, I mean, in
Yep.
IPSC, that's what it is.
Yeah, the IPSA is way not too different, but USPSA carry optics is different. I know.
USPSA
Yeah, it
carry
is.
optics is high cap dot production.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
So it's
machining,
kind of
yeah.
like welfare open. You know what I mean?
But you know what? The thing I don't like about carry optic that is so much different than IPSC production optic is that, let's say I build a gun for IPSC production optic, I won't be able to go and shoot USPSA nationals
Is
with
that a
it.
thing?
It's
That's only because if
the weight.
The
yeah,
weight,
the weight limit, you don't like that, do you, Matt?
absolutely not.
Is this a trigger warning topic for you?
Yeah, but we can save it for a later one if you want.
Later.
Yeah, it's almost like that weight limit is designed to fuck a couple gun manufacturers, one of which you work for and one of which I work for.
Yeah, kind of
It's
specifically.
almost as if that was intentional. It'd be like, you know, you might get that impression. Anyway, um, yeah.
But yeah, personally, well, I think he should just stick with optics to whatever he likes, open or production of, well, carry optics. I
Well,
just
I don't think that it's going to matter in terms of competitiveness if he has a plastic gun or a metal gun. I don't think that's really going to matter.
no.
One thing, I mean, I think that depending on how heavy the optic is, like I have a gun with the Leopold, the Delta Point Pro on it, and I guess it feels like it adds some weight on there, and that changes the nature of the recoil on the plastic guns enough that it's like, it doesn't feel like you're shooting a regular plastic gun. The recoil impulse is definitely different when you have the optic on there. So if you're concerned about recoil, it's not going to be as bad as you think if you shoot those guns. Plus, if you've already shot a gun with an optic on it and you like it, you have that gun, shoot the gun that you like, man. Whatever. Don't worry about it. All right, let's move on. Next question. Haters gotta hate. This is what the title of the question is. It's a bit strange. At your home club, do other shooters hate you for being better than them? Do they make it more difficult for you to train at the club or try to cheat at club matches just to get under your skin and mess with you? This is something I've been dealing with for a while now at my club. I'm curious to know if others are experiencing similar issues and how they deal with it. Should have mentioned my question for the podcast. This is mainly the ROs giving me grief and being unsportsmanlike. I hope you're doing well and congrats on winning production at the World Shoot. Oh man, what do you think about this question?
Well, I've seen something like that almost happen once. It was what one of my mentor when I was like starting, and well, local GM, former national champion and everything, and he's like, it was a memory stage, and I feel like people sometimes they put stages so complicated that they want to see the good shooters struggling when they do their walkthroughs. So they'll do their walkthroughs and they'll go over and over and over and never figure out what plan to use. And we would see like people like chatting about like, oh yeah, I designed that stage and so good, just because good shooters were struggling. And that, I think it's not, they're not proving anything because everybody's going to struggle and it won't be a good stage. So that's just my opinion. But
Yeah, I've heard talk like that about if guys put certain targets out, they're like, oh, this will slow the fast guys down or something like that. And it's like, that's kind
That
of
never works.
well, the fast guys are going to be faster than the slow guys. That's why they're called fast guys. Like, that's the way it works.
Yeah, but if you try to slow down, quote, slow down the better shooters or whatever,
Yeah.
it's never going to work because you're just going to be proportionally slower on that same stuff
Well, let me address
based
the
on
core.
skill level, right?
Let me address the core of this guy's question. You know what I mean? Do shooters hate you for being better than them? In general, in life, success breeds haters. Like, that's the way it works. So if you're doing shit and being good at it, you are going to draw haters. That's kind of the way it is. As far as shooting, I'll be real. I've never like walked around at my local club and had people fucking hate on me. You know, like for being better than them or anything. Like, I don't think anyone really gives a shit at my club. So no, they haven't been fucking around making it difficult for me to train. And definitely no cheating at club matches. Like I would lose my shit if I thought there was cheating going on. So no, I don't have that. I don't have that situation at my club, and I don't think that's all that common in shooting sport, but in life, certainly, success breeds haters. And what you do is you smile and you say thank you for your support if somebody's a hater. It
That's
makes
crazy. Like, try to
it
find
makes them
another
crazy.
club.
What's that?
I try to find another club. Like, especially if like not during match time, they're fucking with you. Like, that makes no sense and why you would want to continue to do that
I don't
and
know. Not
like be there.
everybody has that ability to just go to a different club and do a different thing, you know.
Well, uh, I would try to at least find something. Like, I wouldn't put up with that. That'd be like take any fun involved out of it, or just start squadding with them. Try to make them your friends, I guess.
Yeah, make them your friends. Yes, you want to be friends with people that hate you.
Well,
That's
just
called
maybe so they don't.
frenemies, Matt. That's a 13-year-old girl strategy for dealing with the situation.
Well,
But maybe they just don't understand you.
No, here's Alex. You don't understand haters. People who hate on you in life, it's net like if you read guys making nasty comments to each other on the internet. Like I'm an internet guy, I understand this. It's about them. It's about the guy making the comment. Usually, it's not about the guy they're making the comment to. You know what I mean? Like if somebody like does some fucked up shit to you, it's not like it doesn't really matter what you do. Like they're going to like that's who they are. That's how they treat people. That's what they're going to do. It's on them. It's not on you. I've also seen like typically the justification for doing that stuff, like the kind of like they're going to invent that after they do the thing. So they're going to do the thing they wanted to do in the first place, and in there they're kind of like rationalizing it. Like, yeah, I did some shit to that guy, but he's an asshole, so it's okay to do that. You know what I mean? And I'm a guy who's done plenty of stuff that's, I mean, people consider not very nice. And it's like, I'll be honest, it's it's not like on other people that I do those things. It's on me. Like I take responsibility for it myself. Like, yes, I did that because I wanted to do that, or because I thought it was funny, or whatever. I'm not really a hater though. You know what I mean? Like
No. Well,
being a hater is like not liking something is different than being a fucking hater. And there's levels of hater. So it's like if there's a guy at my club that I just don't like him, then I just like don't hang around him. That's cool.
Just
But if you
avoid or
hate
leave.
that guy, like being a fucking hater, that's a different thing. That's where you like you're telling other people, you know, that they don't like that, they shouldn't like that guy either, and that guy's terrible. And really, if the guy's done nothing, he hasn't really done anything. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
Well, actually,
that's being a hater.
in that way, then I've never met people like that where around matches I go to. So
Yeah, no,
well,
they're not very common.
no,
Yeah, they're like guys who are just flat out haters are not common. Like you think there's way more of them than there are because they are the loudest voices on the internet, but they're not that common in life. They're like in the internet, you'd think the world is like 90% haters, but in reality, in life, it's more like 1 or 2%. You get it?
yeah, pretty
All right.
much.
Well, I feel like this is addressed. All right, gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on Practical Shooting After Dark, our inaugural episode of the new thing that we're doing. I think it's I think it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. Listeners, if you have a shooting question you want addressed, or maybe you've got a potentially triggering topic you'd like Hopkins to address, go to bensteiger.com, send me your question, or send me your topic suggestion for Hopkins, and we will address it if he so chooses.